I'm in 0502 creating bones from pins. And here we have our green Warble character with puppet pins applied to all its body parts so we can move, morph, and make it dance. But in order to rig it using Duik's inverse kinematics, we need to create bones for each of these puppet pins. All that a bone is a null object or a solid in which a puppet pin is linked to in your layer. The reason we need to create bones is because Duik can't create IK rigging straight from the puppet pin effect. So we have to create this workaround where each pin is connected to an actual layer, aka bone, so Duik can do its expression magic on those bones. So let's go ahead and give this green Warble character some bones. I'm going to start by going over to the settings icon right here and clicking on that. If I change from general to rigging, you'll see that there's some options for the type of bones we create. Now, I don't like using solids. I like using null objects. So I'm going to make sure that this is set to null objects. Otherwise, the medium overlayer with the auto size, that all looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the rigging menu. And now we can get started. First, I'll go down to my left arm. If you don't have the puppet pin up, go ahead and hit the E with the left arm selected until puppet pin pops up, and as long as you select puppet pin, you can see the different pins that were created on this arm. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in with a Command plus on my keyboard, and I'm going to select that first puppet pin, hold down Shift, and select the other two. Now I'll go over to the Bones button and click on it to create some bones. And right off the bat, you can see we have 3 brand new layers, and it's B_pin 1 through 3. Now that represents each one of these puppet pins, and if we move it around, you can see that we're actually stretching and morphing these different layers based on where these null objects are. I'm going to hit Command Z to take it back to how it was originally. If you look at these bones, right next to them, you see these little tic-tac-toe icons, which means that these are just guide layers. So they will not render out with the final animation, they're just references. Now, I want to go ahead and name these so they're actually referencing the areas that they are. Now, I'm going to go through and actually create bones for the rest of my body parts. Let's go to the right arm. I'm going to hold down Shift, select these all, create bones. Nice. Let's go to the right arm, click on the puppet. Whoops, already did the right arm. Let's go to the left leg, click on puppet, hold down Shift, select them, make bones. The right leg, Shift, select each one of these puppet pins, create some bones with the button. And finally, last but not least, let's go to the body, Shift, select each one of these puppet pins, and click the bones button one more time. That looks pretty good. Now, before I move on, I want to name these bones to correspond with the body parts that they represent. Now, it's a good idea to actually name these something that Duik can reference simply. So if I go into the auto rig and I take a look at something like the head, spine, and neck, I can see the reference for what's a good name for each one of these pins for the body. Like the head, it's good to just name it head. The neck, I can just name neck. And the torso, I can just name torso. So that's a good reference. Now for the rest of these parts, I can go ahead and hit cancel up here, and I can take a look at the front leg or arm, just to once again be able to see these text pieces so I know what to name them. So over here at the left arm, I can name the hand L_, for left, and I'll name it hand because it says hand right here. For the elbow, I can name it L_elbow because it says elbow right here for this elbow. For this top bone, which represents the arm or shoulder, I'm just going to go ahead and name it L_arm. I'll go ahead and hit cancel here, and I'm going to do the same naming with these ones on the right. R_hand, R_elbow, R_arm. That looks good. And lastly, let's go ahead and look at the back leg so I know exactly what to name these leg bones. And I'll go ahead and move up. So for the left leg, L_foot for the foot, since this is representing the foot area. For this middle section, it can be calf, fibula, or knee. I'm going to go ahead and name it L_knee. And just as a reminder to rename, I'm just clicking on these different layers and hitting return. For this top one, I will make this one L_thigh. All right. Now I just need to do that for the right leg. R_foot, R_knee, and R_thigh. I'm gonna hit cancel over here. And now all of my puppet pins have different bones to actually control their motion, movement, and everything like that. Now to make things easier, I can just go ahead and lock off my different artwork and my different layers for the arms and the legs and the body. And I can go ahead and click on the little shy guy for each of those. And since I have that enabled up here, you can tell because it's blue, it hides those layers. So I don't need to look at them or worry about messing them up anymore. So if I click on the little shy guy, we can see him pop up, but otherwise I won't be able to select them and I won't be able to accidentally move them around. So I'll take this back to fit, and that is looking pretty good for now. So now each and every puppet pin has its own bone that is a layer in the timeline in which we can use Duik's auto rig to create an inverse kinematic character rig.